Welcome back to Breakdown, JJ. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2023. We're talking SEC and Big Ten sports athletic event. What's on the top of the agenda?
You know, even though it's World Cup season and football is the sport that's being played, I think we have some baseball to talk about, some basketball to talk about, and just a little bit of football. Football isn't. We'll start with football since we'll get that out of the way. It's not a major deal for the SEC or the Big Ten, but the news was just released earlier today that Sorsby from Texas Tech, I guess. But he never played for Texas Tech. Yeah, the quarterback for Texas. He played for Cincinnati last. Right. He will not be eligible. Well, the NFL will not be holding a supplemental draft. So he's going to have to chill for a year, and come April, he'll have to enter his name into the draft, and from there, we'll see.
On our last showing, we talked about him a little bit. He was the one who confessed to gambling in Texas. The judge in Lubbock had granted him a stay, so he made him eligible. But apparently, even though he's eligible he withdrew his eligibility to play at Texas Tech, thinking he was going to do a supplemental draft. And now he's, like you said, he's out in the cold.
Yeah, he did get to keep the NIL money that he got from Texas Tech. That should hold him over for a year or so. But, I mean, it's still to be determined whether the NFL will even allow him to enter their league with, that sort of Damocles hanging over his head.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing anyone's ever done that's played in the NFL, but it is the worst thing that anyone's done to the game, and they have to protect the integrity of the game. It's very possible that he never plays another down of football for a major competitor ever again. Just mistakes that he made starting when he was 17, 18.
And he says it's an illness, it's an addiction. That's a whole new story. I don't want to get too much on that. Because we spent a lot of time on that last time. What other thing? You said baseball, football, soccer. What about basketball?
Okay, we'll pivot away from the Sorsby story just to put a bow on that. Did you have any thoughts on in either way about like the ruling and nothing in general? Like,
no, I don't think he should been able to play for Texas Tech.
Okay.
As far as playing in the NFL, I wouldn't be totally opposed to that.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. All right, pivoting away.
Well, let's do baseball. Since I got this baseball in my hand, you know who this baseball is in honor of?
I got it in Puerto Rico, and it has the number 21 on it, so it must be for Deion Sanders, right?
Roberto.
Yeah, the most famous Puerto Rican, Roberto Clemente.
Yep, war number 21 for the Pittsburgh Pirates, my man.
Yeah, his legacy is alive and well in Puerto Rico, that's for sure.
JJ, we talk SEC Big Ten. The College World Series just ended last night in Omaha, Nebraska. We had Oklahoma Sooners playing North Carolina Tar Heels. How did that turn out?
I don't know. I stopped watching once it got to 13-2, but
over.
Oklahoma was up at that point, so.
Oklahoma came in, I believe, 8th in the SEC than the regular season.
I thought they were a little bit low. I know.
Maybe 9th. I don't remember.
I know Ole Miss was 9th. I thought Oklahoma was even further down, but maybe they were 8th. All I know is they weren't ranked, and they were, they were not expected to do a lot.
Exactly, and yet they won the College World Series. What does that say? Does that say more about the SEC? Does it say more about Oklahoma? Or does it say more about the competition?
I think it says a lot about the SEC. It's been, 8 years since a team outside of the SEC won?
Correct. They won 7 in a row. And I believe 7 different schools?
Yeah, I know Mississippi State won one.
Mississippi, Tennessee,
LSU. All the schools except Arkansas seem to have no problem.
You ain't got to go there.
Well, every year it seems like a team that had no business even making it to College World Series makes it there, and they get hot pitching, and they seem to close the door. When will that be Arkansas's year?
The next 10 years will be Arkansas' year.
Okay.
JJ, can I write it down right now in ink, or that the SEC is going to win the College World Series next year?
Yeah, I mean, you would. I mean, there might be a Coastal Carolina or an Oregon State or a team like that waiting in the wings. You never know with baseball. The chemistry hits right at the right time. The freshmen develop at the right, by the end of the season. And you don't know what you got. You have to reassess what you have. So it seems like the SEC. I would put my monies down that SEC would win, but it's such a wide field. I don't know.
Going into the playoff, the SEC best team was third, and all the others were not super highly ranked. Georgia was rated number 3, but everyone thought it was going to come down to UCLA. I mean, they had like a machine.
Yeah, machine that didn't leave the terminal, couldn't make it out of their home regional.
That's unfortunate.
There's always next year.
Okay, so the SEC won the girls' World Series, and they won the boys' World Series.
Texas and Oklahoma, the best of friends.
Yeah. But JJ, there's something happening tonight in the Big Apple.
Yeah, moving away from baseball, we do have the NBA draft coming up in a couple of hours. It'll be an hour or two. By the time this gets posted, it'll be like an hour away. So, yeah.
JJ, I'm sorry to interrupt them, but before we go to the draft, can we discuss Michigan? Because I want to say the draft for last.
Yeah, Michigan. They are Michigan basketball. They won the 2026 NCAA tournament.
Yep.
First Big Ten team to do it since another Michigan school did it 26 years ago.
In 2020.
Yeah. Welcome the new millennium. They lost their head coach.
Why is it they keep losing head coaches?
Well, the reason they keep losing head coaches is because their head coaches are so successful at the level that they're at that there's a higher level that comes a calling.
So Michigan ain't good enough.
It's funny. There was a lot of talk about Dusty May. He talked about there was a lot of discourse when the decision was made, and I don't think college basketball was good enough for him in general. I don't think he was going to leave Michigan for another college program, but I do know the day after they won the title, he really considered. He had scheduled a Zoom recruiting meeting because that was the day the portal opened and that was the first day recruiting, and he had a lot scheduled, and he was debating whether he should cancel it or not to celebrate it, and he eventually did cancel that. But just to have that thought process after you won the championship is just...
I know, within hours. But JJ, earlier in the year, his name came up for the Chicago Bulls. Mm-hmm. He didn't take it. For the Orlando Magic, he didn't take that. His athletic director said that they had agreed to a contract extension months ago, but yet that contract extension never got signed. Why do you think that?
I think it's because of what happened. I mean, I think, there was openings in the NBA world, and I think he wanted to wait and see what was going to open up. Chicago is a terrible job. Billy Donovan, a former college coach, just exited that position. Their owner, I'm a huge White Sox fan. He owns the White Sox and the Bulls. Their owner does not pay. He is cheap. He is incredibly cheap. All of the money that he paid Michael Jordan, he has held a grudge ever since then and refuses to pay players, coaches, anything. So it's the third biggest market in America, but they do not act like it. They act like they're a small market team. They don't pay, so they don't get the free agents that they should.
So Dusty May waited this long, never signed that contract extension, because you think in the back of his mind he was always thinking he was going to leave this year?
I think it would be irresponsible for him to sign something like that anchors him to a place where all the variables haven't played out. I think there's a reason he didn't sign it. It was because the openings weren't open yet. The NBA finals just happened last week. Once that ended, it was open season for the coach shuffle to happen. So, Jason Kidd was relieved of his duties months ago, or at least a month ago, from Dallas. It might have been 2, but it was at least 6 weeks ago. So, there was a lot of vetting that was going to happen, but I'm not surprised at all.
No. What I'm trying to get at is that I kind of think in the back of Dusty May's mind, he knew he did not want to be at Michigan, and I don't know that. I'm just speculating because the AD said they had agreed to an extension. So if you agree to something, why not sign it? I else don't even agree to it. But that's
why sign it when you have the leverage is the thing. Like he could.
Well, why agree to it if you don't want to sign it?
I mean, I'm not sure if you remember the quote that Dusty May said, but he said he would not be leaving Michigan for another college job, and that they had an agreement set in place. I think that added word tells you everything you need to know. I mean, you still are waiting on the NBA. There's a higher level that you're waiting on.
So what I said, you tend to sound like you're in agreement with me. He in the back of his mind, he knew he wasn't going to be. He anticipated not being at Michigan.
At some point, I'm sure he wanted to go to the NBA, but I don't know if he knew what openings were going to be available. I don't know if he knew the Dallas job was going to be offered. I don't think he was going to leave Michigan for any job in the NBA. I think he wanted to leave the job for a foundational talent, which Cooper Flag is the number one pick from the previous year, that you can build around, and in alignment with a front office. They have Masai Ujiri, the architect of the 2019 Toronto Raptors, that won the championship with Kawhi. I think you have a genius in the GM office. You have a prodigy to build around. I think that's an opportunity that you would wait for. I mean, I don't know.
Well, let's move away from Dusty May. And can we talk really quick before we get into the draft about Michigan? They have some recruits. They have some transfer portal guys. Will any of and once 5 days after a new coach is hired, the transfer portal will open for the people at Michigan.
And that's a new thing this year. It's not after the coach leaves. Last year it was when the coach leaves. Now it's only the window's only 15 days. It's not 30 days.
Well, correct.
And it's 5 days after they hire a new coach.
The window doesn't open until 5 days after, and it's a 15-day. JJ, Michigan got some big men that Arkansas won't. Mustafa, I can't pronounce his last name. Times, 7-1 center, Jalen Reed, the power forward from LSU, and JP Estrella,
the transfer from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of players that people want. I mean, they have Elliot Cadeau, they have Trey McKinney. They have a lot of players that they want. The problem is Michigan probably has more money than any of the teams that are going to be trying to come and get them. They still have, they promoted Mike Boynton, the lead assistant. Yep, it's official. They promoted him to interim, and he has the opportunity to win the job in the future. And he's the guy. He's the architect that recruited all of those guys to Michigan, as per Roddy Gale. That's what Roddy Gale came out and said. So
he coached Cade Cunningham.
He did coach Cade Cunningham right down the road in Detroit.
Coach.
And that does mean a lot, especially with the success that he's had. So I wouldn't be surprised if one or two players were picked off, but I think for the most part, everyone else is still there. There's a group of there's money that's there, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys, called up and said the price of the brick is going up and asked for a raise. In general, I mean they have the leverage. I'm not sure if anyone's been injured. I haven't been paying attention to off-season practices or anything like that. I'm not sure if any major players have been injured or there's been any type of setbacks or anything like that. But the players definitely have the leverage to leave. But I have a feeling, Trey McKinney's a Michigan kid. He's from Flint. He's gonna stay in Michigan, and he's gonna be their best player next year. So,
I'm getting a little bit confused. Sound like you're saying that Michigan's players are safe, then they're going to stay. But then on the other hand, sound like you're saying they may lose a.
Their most important players are safe, as I think.
Okay.
I mean, Trey McKinney's going to be their best player. He's a Michigan kid. He's going to stay there, and he might get a raise. Okay. There's some other players that might get a raise, but there's some players that might get an offered more money or a different role, and now that with Dusty May gone, they might take it.
Okay. Let's talk NBA draft.
That's the.
Who's going to win?
The marquee.
Who's going to win tonight? The SEC or the Big Ten in the draft?
Yeah, so the mock drafts I've seen all have about the same number, like 6 or 7 SEC players, 6 or 7 Big Ten players that they'll get drafted per round, like 6 in the first, like maybe 12 overall SEC players, 12 overall Big Ten players. Um, so I've seen a lot of that, but what I've noticed is the Big Ten has more players in the top 20. They have a good 6 players that are projected to go in the top 20, whereas the SEC only has 3, has half of that.
Okay.
And ESPN's most recent one.
And that bodes true for the green room. The green room is the players who get invited to the draft, and the SEC has 3 players invited to the draft, whereas Michigan has 3 all by themselves,
Yeah.
and a total of 6 from the Big Ten. But tonight, the Big Ten shall win. But when it comes to the total personnel, all I'm saying is the SEC with like 12 to 13 versus 8 or 9 for the Big Ten.
ESPN had the inverse of that. ESPN had like 13 for the Big Ten and I think 11 for the SEC.
That's why they're going to have the draft. We're going to see how it comes out. Talk about the draft a little bit, JJ. Some of the players and some of the schools you go to.
Yeah, the Big Four are not going to be SEC or Big Ten players, but the wide projection of the 5th overall pick is Katon Waggler from Illinois. He canceled his workouts for the team picking 6th and the team picking 7th, so he must be locked in thinking that the Clippers are gonna take him 5th. And he's supposed to be the first Big Ten or SEC player to go, and he's one of the so you have the Big Four, which are none of them are true point guards. Darren Pearson wants to play point guard, but they're all DeBonce is a wing. Caleb Wilson is either a wing or a big. Carlos Boozer's a big, and Darren Pearson, Kansas, he's a shooting guard. But then after that, you have after those top 4 goes, then you have the point guards, which is Katon Waggler, Darius Acuff, Kingston Flemings, Mikal Brown Jr., and then Burries out of Arizona, who's a combo guard. And the leader in that is Katon Waggler, the former. Coming into it as a freshman, he was not a top 200 player, and this is the first time someone from that unrecruited will be drafted so high after only 1 year in college. Obviously, Steph Curry didn't even get major offers to anywhere, but he stayed 3 years, and by the time his 3rd year was out, I mean, he was widely considered a lottery pick, going into his junior year. So this is like a pretty phenomenal glow up from just this time a year ago, just an unknown, unheard of kid, unheralded kid, who had MAC offers along with Illinois, and now he's supposed to be a top 5 pick. So that's Katon Waggler.
JJ, what's the one common denominator for all the names that you named earlier? You named AJ DeBantas, Darren Peters, Caleb Cam Boozer, yeah,
Peterson,
Katon Waggler,
yeah.
Darius Acuff, Mikal Brown Jr., Kingston Fleming, Braden, Burrs. What's the common denominator with all of them?
I mean, they're not foreign players and they're freshmen.
Is that amazing, or is that
the freshman thing isn't as surprising as the not foreign players?
The first 9 draftees are all freshmen.
American-born that is unheard of. Because, I mean, if you notice the last 8 MVPs in the NBA, not one was born in America. It's definitely, going international. It's very global. But this is going to be a homegrown, American-born. This is going to be a 250th anniversary special. It's going to be all-American. It's going to be Americans.
Is this the best draft this century?
Oh, no. I would say the 2003 draft. You got LeBron, Wade. I mean, everyone except for the Pistons seemed to make a great decision in that draft. But, yeah, I would say that was the high watermark for me. What say you?
Well, hindsight is, we'll see what these guys do in the NBA. But just from their college careers, I think we got a group of amazing talent right here. And in my mind, I'm trying to think of a better one. Bird and Magic, they were like 4 or 5 really good ones. And then the year when Michael and
Barkley and Stockton, the 84 draft was crazy.
Okay, But from
Well, the '96 draft, you had Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash. Those are just guys that won MVPs. But you had Stephon Marbury.
I'm talking their performance in college.
In college.
Because we don't know. I mean, I don't know how this is going to turn out.
No, yeah.
These guys might turn out to be busts. I doubt it, but they might. JJ, all of these talents. Tell me who's going to be the steal of the draft?
Steal of the draft.
A second rounder who you would have taken in the first.
A second rounder.
Who you would have taken in the first round. Now, who teams are going to wish they had taken in the first round.
I hope the Pistons target Bruce Thornton. I hope Bruce Thornton from Ohio State is still available when the Pistons second round pick is made. And this is we won't even have the second round tonight because the NBA is following in the NFL's footsteps and they're breaking it in half.
First round tonight and second round tomorrow night.
Yeah, the first year they did it kind of made sense because Bronny James was going in the second round and he just was so famous. But now it's just the way that things are. I would say Bruce Thornton. He's the all-time scoring leader at Ohio State. Point guard, shooting guard, combo guard. He can really score 3 different levels. I think that he is a guy that doesn't have the ideal size, but I think that he has not like a Jalen Brunson-esque game. Everyone's going to be comparing themselves to him, but I think that he has a lot of skill and he has a lot of ability. And the right coach can untap that. I think the Pistons. I think he'd make a great Piston. And that's a guy from Ohio State who I am not the biggest fan of. The other guy I was thinking of that I wouldn't mind being there is Trevon Brazile out of Arkansas for a team that I actually root for. But unfortunately, I've seen he is expected to go in the 30s to early 40s, so I don't think he'll be around by the time that Pistons pick. But those are the 2 guys that I have my eye on.
JJ, why would the guy from Illinois, why would he be ahead of Yaxel, the Big Ten Player of the Year?
Well, he's 24 years old.
The guy from Illinois?
Yaxel is 24 years old.
The guy from Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, he was in the same draft class as, was it Paolo Banchero, I think? Or no, Cade Cunningham. He was in the same draft class as Cade Cunningham, and Cade Cunningham just completed his 4th year in the NBA and, was first team All-NBA and all of that. So, it's an age thing. A lot of his development happened against younger players. So, coaches, front offices, they're not thrilled when they see that. Okay. So that's a big reason that he's going to go where he's going to go.
Is there any player, potential player to be drafted in this draft that you want to highlight?
Yeah, I mean, I think much has been made about a Daimara, especially after you see Wemby and Chet and all of these 7'2" guys. But
yeah, he's the 7'3" guy from Michigan.
And he'll probably be the first foreign-born player taken. But nowadays, foreign-born players come to America to make a little bit more money first. But even with a lot that's been made about him, I would say the guy that I would want to highlight is Bennett Sturts out of Iowa. Okay. 2 years ago, he was at Drake. Last year, he was at Iowa. He followed his coach from Drake to Iowa. Before he was at Drake, he was at a Division II college. I can't even remember the name of it. But he is a guy that I think is a winner. Like,
he's a 6'3" guard from Iowa.
6'3" combo guard.
He's a senior.
Yeah, he's a senior.
So he and Yaxel are the only seniors who were invited to the green room. Yeah.
But, I mean, he took Iowa to their first Elite Eight in over 26 years. And, he's a guy that can play on the ball, he can play off the ball. He's steady. He's a solid defender. To me, he has a lot of Josh Hart in him, but with a better shot. It honestly is the way I look at it. Not as good of a rebounder, but a better shooter. I just think he's a utility player that I think will be a winning type of player. He's a type of guy that championship teams get, and I would love for him to be available in the first round, but I have a feeling he's not going to be there for the Pistons at 21.
JJ, what's your take on Braden Smith, the point guard from Purdue? He's a senior, 5'10".
Yeah, I mean he's really small.
Yeah,
he's not super athletic. He's not athletic. He's really small. I think he'll be a great coach. I think he might be able to find a way to stick in the league, but I've seen people say that he's going to go in the second round, and I just don't see how he gets on the floor in an NBA game. I don't see it. So, I hope I'm wrong, but my only thought on him is that's a small, unathletic, streaky shooting play. What he's a great passer, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Braden Smith?
I think his height will kill him. He will be the hunted once he's on the court.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because his defense. But the one person I want to point out and I want to highlight is the guy from Alabama.
You talking about LeBaron Philon?
Yes, he's an offensive machine. He's a scorer.
He is. He's that.
He's a scorer. He can shoot the deep tray. He got the 3-level game to me. He can do the mid. He can come inside and he can do the outside. Whoever gets him is going to have a pleasant surprise on their hands.
Okay.
And I don't really have a favorite NBA team, so I have no desire as to who takes him. But have we missed anything?
No, it's been almost 30 minutes. I think we've covered everything.
Sounds like a plan. We can get out of here.
Hey, why not? Watch the World Cup.
We can't get out of here without one thing.
What's that?
WPS. We'll big suey.
Who they?
Good luck, everybody, tonight in the draft.